Imagine someone who's educated, confident, polite. Someone you'd probably trust, right? Maybe even help out if they asked. Now, what if that same person was hiding one of the darkest, most twisted minds in American history? That's the whole puzzle of Ted Bundy. And this isn't just another crime story. Nope. It's a really deep dive into the psychology of deception, and we're about to see just how far it goes. So, this is the question. It's the one that hangs over this entire case. How did a monster manage to hide in plain sight for so long? We're going to unpack that right now. And you'll see the answers aren't just about him, they're about us too, and the little mental shortcuts our brains take every single day.
To really get a handle on the deception, we have to start with the mask. You see, Bundy's greatest weapon wasn't a knife or a crowbar. It was a carefully, brilliantly constructed persona, an image of complete and utter normalcy that just disarmed basically everyone he ever met.
I mean, just think about the image he was putting out there. He was a law student, which makes you think he respects the law. He was a confident guy who could speak well. He was even active in politics, always polite, always dressed nicely. These weren't just random details. They were the actual building blocks of trust he was using.
And you know what? It absolutely worked. Just look at these words. These aren't words you use for a monster. They're what you'd say about the ideal neighbor or a coworker or a friend. This is genuinely how people who knew him saw him. The mask he wore, it was seamless.
Okay, so the big question is, why was this mask so incredibly effective? Why did so many people buy into it? Hook, line, and sinker? Well, the answer is actually found in a pretty predictable glitch in our own thinking. It's something called the halo effect. It's a mental shortcut, really. Our brains see one good thing, like someone's good-looking or confident, and we just automatically jump to a conclusion. Oh, this person must be a good person, they must be safe. We literally fill in the blanks with all these positive assumptions. And here's the thing, Bundy didn't just get lucky and benefit from the halo effect. He knew exactly what he was doing. He weaponized it. He understood that if he looked the part of a trustworthy guy, people wouldn't just trust him. They would find it almost impossible to even imagine he was a threat. His whole appearance was like a key that unlocked our brain's default setting for trust. But his deception went so much deeper than just looking good. He didn't just sit back and wait for people to trust him. No, he went on the attack, and he did it by targeting one of our most powerful, most noble instincts. This right here might be the most chilling part of his entire strategy. He figured out that the fastest way to get someone to drop their guard isn't by scaring them. It's by showing vulnerability, or at least pretending to be vulnerable.
His method was just a masterclass in manipulation. You can see it laid out here. He'd often put a cast on his arm or use crutches, faking an injury. Then he'd act all polite and harmless and just ask for a little help, maybe carrying some books to his car. It was a perfectly designed empathy trap.
So let that sink in. He took one of our best qualities as human beings and turned it against us. That instinct we all have to help someone who looks like they're hurt or in need. That's a basic part of what keeps society together. Bundy understood that and twisted it into his own personal predatory tool. Now, you'd think as evidence started to mount and red flags started popping up, people would catch on. But even then, many people around him, his friends, his coworkers, even police for a while, they just could not bring themselves to believe he was responsible. This resistance, this denial, it reveals another really powerful psychological force at work. It's called cognitive dissonance. It's that really uncomfortable, squirmy feeling you get when a new fact directly crashes into a belief you hold really strongly. Our brains hate that conflict. And a lot of the time, the easiest way out is to just reject the new, uncomfortable truth. And this created this impossible mental conflict. On one side, you had the mask that everyone saw and believed in, the smart, educated, trustworthy guy. And on the other side, you had the hidden, monstrous reality. The two images were so completely at odds that trying to believe both at the same time caused this intense mental stress. And this phrase, this is the perfect example of cognitive dissonance. You can almost hear people thinking it. It's an outright rejection of reality because the truth is just too painful to accept. It's way easier to believe the evidence must be wrong than to admit your judgment of someone was so catastrophically, horrifically mistaken. In the end, the sheer horror of what he did gave him this weird kind of protection. The idea that this normal guy was capable of such evil was so profoundly disturbing that it almost felt more logical to just say, no, that's impossible. The mask was just that good.
So, after taking this terrifying look into the psychology of deception, what are we supposed to do with all this? What can we learn? Because this isn't about being paranoid, it's about being aware.
So, what's the bottom line here? Well, first, we have to fight that halo effect. We have to remember that how someone looks on the outside is not who they are on the inside. Second, confidence can just be an act. Good character is something much, much deeper. And probably most important of all, our stereotype of what a monster is supposed to look like, it's almost always wrong. And that's the final chilling thought I want to leave you with. The story of Ted Bundy is this constant, terrifying warning that evil doesn't always show up with fangs and horns. More often than not, it wears a mask of normalcy, a friendly face, and it thrives in the exact places where we least expect to find it. The real threat is the one we never see coming.